Hey, this is Dawn Shireen. I'd like to welcome you to my podcast, The Delusion is Vast. So, I have 19 days until I leave, and it's getting very anxiety-filled at this point, but I'm excited. Now, the only reason I'm going to do this show today and not wait until there's actually more to talk about is because Christopher's mom actually officially passed away. Now, I know that sounds really funny to say it that way, but the thing is, his family announced her death in December when she was still very much alive, and everybody went all berserker and all that, and then they're all like, oh, no, she might actually make it. So, I don't really quite understand the thought process behind that of announcing somebody's death when they're still alive. But apparently this time she really is deceased. Now, the first time around, I actually had a lot to say about that. In fact, I might have actually done a show about that and then maybe had to take it down or something. And, I went through all the emotions of, because she was like a mother-in-law to me for, I've looked at her as a mother-in-law even since Christopher passed. And when that went down, and of course I was like ready and willing to move from Flagstaff, of course, to Tucson, interestingly enough, to help her. And that's when I actually found out that there was all kinds of lies and stories and things about me that were absolutely not true, that his sister believed, and then made it nearly impossible for me to have any kind of contact with the mom. So, at that point I was just kind of like, well, you already told us she's dead. I've already kind of processed it that she will be dying, and thanks for just destroying I don't even know what it is, because the person that she was referring to wasn't me. And I archived that message. Not that I'm going to go back to look at it because it's extremely hurtful, but extremely hurtful. And even if I were the person that had said what she said I said about Christopher, oh my gosh. And apparently she never listened to a podcast I did about Christopher. She never read a story I wrote about Christopher. She didn't know anything about how much we loved each other, regardless of whatever else was going on in the world. And her attitude just, and this is going to sound really horrible, and maybe I'll have to retract this at some point in time, but Christopher and his mom are in a much better place away from a person like that in their life with that negativity. Unbelievable. So, the last true thing that I would have given second thought about in Arizona to stay and help is gone. So, it's like God's timing is kind of amazing that, not that she was a consideration at this point, because after I got that message from her daughter, I was like, yeah, no, no, I will not be going to any kind of memorial service. I will not be doing any of that. This is the most I will be doing is my own remembrance of her. And, she was only 2 years older than me, so she's 62 years old, and she's no longer here. Okay. And people look at me like, oh my God, you're so crazy. Why do you want to go and do all these things now? You're like, quote unquote, old. And I'm like, I'm not old, man. I mean, my body might have some time on it, but I don't feel old. I see 20-year-olds that are in wheelchairs, on oxygen, can't move, are out of shape, have no will to live. They're old. I'm 60. I have a life going on. I got a new job I'm going to go. I'm moving. I have hope. I'm not going to be stalked anymore. The chances of me being killed are lessening daily as I get closer to leaving here. And I have hope for my future at 60, right? It's not done. It's not done until the fat lady sings, I guess. And I actually hate that statement, that phrase, but maybe it is over. Maybe the fat lady did sing. But anyway, so Debbie Richmond, I loved you. You were... I know you didn't have an easy life. I'm not getting into any of what Christopher told me, because Christopher told me so much, which is why I was endeared to his mother, because she put up with a lot of horse shit in her life, and she fought hard, and she was a courageous woman with integrity, and she did her best to raise 2 kids in economically devastating times by herself. You know, after what she went through, I just hope she's at peace. I hope she can find comfort. I'm sure she is. She's in heaven right now with Christopher and Doc and all the, you know, I mean, good God, it's the best place to be right now, you know. And there's an atmosphere song I love, and it's just something along the lines of, like, I still kick it with angels. They're just at my kitchen table, you know. And yeah, I have more angels than I have actual people, and I think I said that about John too. Yeah, kind of back-to-backs. Both tragic, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think I would have been more torn up had her daughter not been so rude to me. But in a way, I was kind of like, I wouldn't want to be here either. My best kid's in heaven, and I have this horrible person that came out of my loins that is just a terrible person. And I don't know how they're so different between the 2 kids. I mean, and Christopher had his moments too. Not saying he wasn't, but I don't think Christopher ever would have just overtly gone out to help to hurt somebody like that. But anyway, so that's done. That whole wish and dream of being Chris's wife and Chris's mom-in-law and being part of the family and, you know, fitting into their dysfunction. Oh, my goodness gracious. It's done. It's done. It's over. Debbie's in heaven. Christopher's in heaven. I have backup angels now. Actually, they're probably more than backup angels. Those 2 together, whoo, baby. They're going to push that Greyhound to South Dakota to make sure I get the hell out of here. But yeah, and you know, it's just a weird situation where, like, I've already mourned this. So when I read it, and it was like, oh, okay, and then just kept moving on. No tears, no nothing, because I've already done that, right? Just to find out that, oh my gosh, why would people do that? I don't even get it. There wasn't even a Go Fund Yourself set up or anything like that. And there probably will be now. No, I will not be contributing to it. I'm sorry, but it's okay, Deb. You know what? You're not here anymore to know. So, but no, I will not be contributing any money to that family because, no, I know too much, and I'm not going to blast their family secrets. But now that the person I was most concerned about hurting is no longer here, I could say, man, they're. I thought my family was dysfunctional, and it was, and it is. I mean, all families are dysfunctional, but yeah, things work out for a reason. And Christopher and I never made it official, and you know, I mean, not as far as like, you know, 3D world goes. Now, as far as spiritual world goes, no, we're forever together. It's infinity, you know. The biggest infinity there is me and Christopher. So, you know, that's that. But anyway, I know, and I sound tired, and I am tired. I don't know. Oh, okay. So let's just be straight up. So there's also this other thing going on, and I'm going to be honest here because this is really part of what's going on, and I think this is what I really wanted to talk about and forgot. So you know, South Dakota is a no weed state, right? It's not legal in South Dakota like it is here in Arizona. So during these past few months where I've been housebound and surveilled and everything, you know, I found a lot of solace in just getting baked, because what else am I going to do? Like, I can't do anything. Well, the time has come now for me to be very realistic about this situation, and I got to quit, man. I got to stop. Like, I got to stop. I'm not going to go to South Dakota and detox there, and it is a detox. I don't care what anybody says. A drug is a drug is a drug. And though I'm sober off of everything else, weed has, you know, it's there, and I'm going to use it because I have anxiety. I've had anxiety. I didn't think there was a way out of here. I thought I was going to die here. If I was going to die here, at least I was going to die stoned, right? Well, that thinking is not really logical anymore, and it doesn't really serve me well to not set myself up in the most favorable way for this move. So today I smoked the last bit of weed that I have, and I'm not looking for any, and I'm not going to buy any. And I mean, this is going to be the time where I find every missing bowl I lost in this house, and every, of course, right? Because that's just how it goes. But am I going to be going to the dispensary again before I leave Arizona? No, I can't. And I'm saying this publicly here because I want to keep myself accountable. And even though I don't know, and I'm not sure who's listening to the show anymore now, because there's been a bump, and I'm glad about that. Thank you. But I would really love to have an accountability partner here who's just kind of like, no. Now, I mean, do I have enough willpower? Absolutely. I can do this my own, and I will do this because it's me, right? But the fact that I'm going to remain accountable to all y'all out there is going to help me to just not have that moment and be like, who cares? It don't matter. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. Everything matters. It all matters. I don't care who. It all matters. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. So anyway, I just want to drop that. And that's probably, and I am feeling tired. I have been slowing down and everything. But today's the day that I decided, nah, I'm not taking any more money out. I'm not going to the dispensary. I'm just not. I'm going to detox. I'm going to go to South Dakota. I'll probably still piss dirty if it ever came down to it, but they're not going to piss test me at this place, and whatever. They know anyway, they're not going to do that. I passed all my background checks. All the alls that I needed to do. But I'm just not going to go to South Dakota and set myself up for failure and not be detoxed the best I can be before I get there. And 19 days. So, oh my God, I can't believe we passed the 3 week. Wow. Anyway. So yeah, so I'm just being forthright with y'all and letting you know that, yep, I got to get serious. I got to dig down. I got to deal with the headache. I got to deal with the whatever for the next couple days. Make sure I drink a whole ton of water and just try to either keep myself really occupied or sleep, or maybe it won't be as bad as I think it is, because now it's not like it's the end of my life anymore. You know what I mean? It's like I have a future. I have something I'm going to. I have a goal. I have a life outside of these four walls and this surveillance, right? I have a life again. And I can do this. I mean, I've done it 100 times. I did it when I went to Hope. I did it when dude, it's been a crutch. And I'm going to be honest about that. It's been a crutch. It's been an easy thing to turn to when everything else was fucking shit. Well, things aren't so shit now, and I don't need the crutch. So, my harm reduction is not doing harmful things. Hey, right? So yeah, that's that. I just wanted so it was a quick check-in, and that's what I got. So this is Dawn Shireen. This is my podcast, The Delusion is Vast, and hey, let's all stay alive, okay? Later.